Welcome back. It's me again, Andrew. Have you ever heard of positive psychology? If you are not from a psychology background, for example, you may be studying something else during your university days other than psychology, chances are that you have never heard of positive psychology. Maybe psychology is more common, but what is positive psychology? I guess what may be more common to you are ideas like positive thinking, law of attraction, neuro-linguistic programming, or otherwise known as NLP, and other kinds of ideas as well. Well, it doesn't matter what your background is or what experiences you have, but positive psychology is applicable to everyone, and anyone can learn positive psychology. And here, I want to share with you why you need to know positive psychology. I will give you 3 reasons. But before I give you the 3 reasons, let us do a simple activity. Yay! If you have a piece of paper or a pen or pencil near you, please go and grab it, and we will use that paper to do something. Yeah, go ahead. Good. Now, on the piece of paper, I would like you to think of the emotion words that you know. It could be happy, sad, angry, depressed, fearful, anxious, grateful, so on and so forth. Think of as many as possible and then write on the piece of paper. Now, don't look into the dictionary or check on Google. Okay? Now we'll spend the next 1 minute or so just to write this down. You can pause this video also so that you have time to write. So let's time ourselves 1 minute from now, shall we? Go ahead. Okay, very good. Now, let's look at the words that you have written. I would like you to label them, which is positive and which is negative. Just put a mark there, maybe positive, put a cross, put a cross or plus sign, and negative, put a minus sign, so that we can tell the difference between positive and negative. Again, you can pause this video while you do this. Go ahead. Very good. Now, let us count how many positive versus negative words do you have. Again, you may pause this video as we do this. Go ahead. Now, do you notice anything? Well, in most cases when I do this activity, especially with the students I've taught and also adults that I've trained, the common thing is that negative words are more than positive. So no matter what your result is, positive higher than negative or negative higher than positive, or maybe both are the same, or it was really difficult for you to think of any, it doesn't matter, okay? But what I'd like to share with you is that in most cases, negative words are more than positive. And there was a study done by James Averill in 1980, very early on, that when he looked through the English dictionary, he actually found that about 62% of emotion words, or about a total of 558 emotion words found in the English dictionary, were actually negative. Now, following this activity, you may not realize that humans actually have a bias towards negativity. Bias towards negativity means we are more sensitive to negative than positive. Now, negative events are remembered more strongly than positive ones, and we tend to be more affected when we lose something as compared to winning something. We are more affected by somebody criticizing us than from somebody praising us. And a single bad event is stronger than our single strongest good event. So it seems like our minds are fixated in the negative by default. Well, imagine this. If you're out dating and of 10 times you have been on time to meet your date, but there was just one time where you were a little late. Now, this lateness is remembered forever, while the 9 times where you were on time were little mentioned about. Do you agree with me? Now, one problem is that our environment is not helping us either. Now we are bombarded by media that focuses on the negative because that is what sells and that is what grabs our attention and that is what is marketable. So when we open our phone, when we look at the social media, when we look at news, we always see crime, war, rape, unrest, accidents, death, and so on. And our environment is so negative, even right now especially, that it results in an indirect priming. Indirect priming means indirectly our environment is making us to welcome negative type of stimulation. So if one day our environment is positive, it's like, why is it? It's so different. But we are so used to negative that if there is no negativity, it sounds weird. And humans have been good at being negative for ages because by being negative, it prepares you from danger and it prepares you to prepare yourself to meet any danger that is about to come. Now, negativity is a problem because negativity is toxic. It leads to depression, it leads to relationship problems, and in marriages, it leads to divorce. Just by thinking negatively, one may spiral down into depression. And where does depression lead? Usually, depression, at the worst case, would lead to suicide ideation, which means you are thinking of suicide, and worst case scenario, you commit suicide. And the length of time, now this is based on research, the length of time one person lingers in negativity is actually more dangerous than the number of times you experience negative events. So the longer you stay in a negative environment, the more toxic it will be, the more depressed it will become, and the higher likelihood you will consider suicide in the long run. Now, how do we overcome this? One of the first action steps that you can take is to learn how to be positive. And being positive, there are things like being grateful, having optimism, type of thinking skill, and also have a growth mindset, etc. to look at life. Now, when you put on a positive kind of thinking with positive psychology, your life will be transformed, your life will be changed. And I'm speaking from experience. So the first reason why you need to know this is the only hope for overcoming negativity is to be positive. Unless you want to stay negative, which I don't think so, right?